What's up, everybody? It is Vince, and I am back once again with the great people from YTI. And today we are talking about something that everybody loves. We are talking about food. Not many careers allow you to explore your creativity, talent, passion, quite like the culinary arts. Do you have a passion for food? I mean, who doesn't? Everybody loves food. The ingredients, the presentation, and of course, the taste. If so, the Pennsylvania School of Culinary Arts, a division of YTI Career Institute at their Lancaster campus, offers culinary arts, restaurant management, and a pastry program. And today we are with all of the fine people who head up some of those programs at YTI. We have Jessie, who is the director. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. So tell me a little bit. I've worked in the restaurant industry before. I have quite a few friends who actually went to YTI for the culinary program. So just give everybody an overview of the different programs that you guys have there.
Sure. So we have a Culinary Arts and Restaurant Management program. It's a 21-month program. We spend 18 months in the classroom, and then we do a 3-month externship at a restaurant of their choice. You'll go through the process of finding a place to go and spend all those 3 months working on showing off and using those skills that you've learned over the last 18 months in a real world setting. So our pastry program is a 12-month program. That one we spend 9 months in the classroom, 3 terms, learning everything from introduction to baking and pastry, learning the basics, cookies and scones and that kind of stuff, into our last term where we're making chocolate, doing chocolate work and sugar showpieces. Really interesting stuff the whole way through our programs. So.
And what are usually the run times for the program? Like, when do they start? How long does each program last?
Sure. So the culinary program, we have 2 different start times. We have a morning and an evening start time. With COVID, we've really moved into a blended program, which has been really great for us and really great for the students. It gives that flexibility for the students that they're able to come to school 2 to 3 days a week, and then everything else is online. So they're able to complete that work in their own time frame, when they're able to do it, when they're able to get to it. So they're able to change their careers or start something new while they're still doing their jobs. So culinary is 2 days a week. Morning program runs 9 to 1. Or an evening program from 5 to 9. And then we have our pastry, which runs the first term they're in 2 days a week, and then second and third terms they're in 4 days a week. And then the same thing, 9 to 1 or a 5 to 9, Monday through Thursday.
Very cool. And I know we have 2 people with us today who are from each of those programs. We have Joseph, who's actually from the Culinary Arts program. So give us a little more in-depth detail about what actually goes on day to day with the program.
Okay. Good morning, Vince.
Good morning.
The culinary program is basically broken down into 2 components. We have the lab section where the students actually go into the kitchens and work. And then we have our managerial or our management portion of the course. That's where they're going to learn their basic food service math, how to properly purchase and put away products into the kitchens, safe food handling. We also have them take a nationally recognized food service course for sanitation. They will also learn basic kitchen components throughout the kitchens, working with different kitchen pieces of equipment that they will be exposed to for both culinary and the managerial side, such as purchasing, utilizing scales and whatnot. The students, as they go through, we like to refer to it as a tiered cake. They will learn their basic fundamental skill sets in their first term. And from there, each term that they progress to, they will take those skills that they've learned and use those in the further terms. So food service math, they're going to use from term 1 to term 6, learning how to break down recipes, do recipe conversions, figure out labor costs, food costs, and whatnot that's going to make them successful out in the industry. And the kitchen courses, we do the same thing. We start off with their basic foundational skills, knife cuts, measurements. They will take those into their secondary classes and build upon those. So in their first term, they will work on doing their knife cuts, learning how to operate kitchen equipment, and doing basic sauces and stocks. Going into their second term, third term, fourth term, they'll take all those foundational skills and apply those and keep building as they progress through the terms. So the first term, they're going to make sauces. Second term, they'll make sauces and soups. Third term, we'll teach them meat fabrication, where they'll take their knife cuts, learn how to fabricate, take their vegetables that they've learned in second term, their sauce production in first term, and do a composed dish. So each step of the way, we give them a little bit more information, and they just continually graduate from term to term, class to class, executing those fundamental skills. And at the end, or the culmination of their 6 terms in-house, we do what is referred to as a restaurant simulation, where they are creating dishes. They will make their own menu and serve that to the students that are in-house and to family or guests. And that is something where they have to cost out the menu. They will be responsible for receiving the product, working as a lead in the kitchen to manage or oversee their own kitchen staff. And the chef instructor acts as a mentor to make sure that the students are adhering to proper sanitation guidelines, food safety, and working safe in the kitchen. Once the students get out into the industry, they're able to move straight into a position such as a line cook. We do have a lot of students that come to the school that have industry experience. So when they get out into the industry, they're more apt to be able to move into a secondary supervisory position, such as a sous chef. And then a couple of years down the road, with their degree, their experience, ultimately we tell them they're going to be moving into a managerial position, such as the executive chef. We have had a number of students in the past years that have actually graduated, went into the industry on their externship, and literally months afterwards have opened up their own establishments and that are running their own businesses very successfully right now.
Very cool. Basically, every aspect of the restaurant industry that can be known is taught at YTI, and even some of the fancier stuff like the pastries that you eat after you have the wonderful dinner that was made by a YTI student. And we have Daria here with us as well. Daria, tell us a little bit about the Pastry Arts program.
Sure. So our Pastry Arts program in full is 12 months long. They are on campus 9 months with us, and that is 3 different terms that they currently have. Going through the different terms, the first one they start out with is Introduction to Baking. So they learn basic knife skills. They learn how to use all the different equipment, such as mixers and ovens and stovetops. In that class, they'll learn the basics of the creaming method, such as cookies, biscuits. They'll do different custards. They'll make pâte à choux, which turns then into eclairs and cream puffs with pastry cream involved. They'll also learn things like fresh fruit tarts and how to properly make the dough, make the pastry cream filling, and then be able to display the fruit in a lovely manner and be able to glaze it. They also will receive information on an international breads class in their second term, as well as a cake decorating 1 course. So in the international breads class, they will learn 5 different families of dough. They will learn how to make things like bagels, sandwich rolls, things like sticky buns, and also they will learn how to make slack doughs, things like focaccia. So trying to take all different parts of the world and inform them for the breads portion. In Cake Decor 1, they will learn the basics of mixing and baking cakes. They will learn to make different forms of buttercream, such as American, Italian, and Swiss buttercreams. They'll also learn different fillings, and they will learn how to actually build the structure of the cake. They will also do some royal icing work, which comes in handy for all of the fun decorated cookies you might see in the industry. Building on that, going into their third term class, they have Cake Decoration 2, which involves taking the basics of their cake knowledge and really building on those skills. So they will turn their buttercream cakes into cakes that are then covered in fondant. They'll learn how to make some gum paste flowers, such as roses, calla lilies, orchids. They'll also learn how to carve cakes in that class. Carving is a very intense skill that you need to know how to build the support system internally for it to then be structurally sound for something like a groom's cake. And they'll also work with modeling chocolate in that class. The other two classes they have are a retail class and a pastry presentation class. In the retail class is when they actually do large quantity baking. In that class, it allows them to understand mass production. And in that class, we've also partnered up recently with two places, Water Street Rescue Mission and Anchor Lancaster, and we are able to build those products and be able to, with COVID guidelines, wrap everything individually. And then that way, those that might be in need of a meal can come in and be able to receive some fresh baked products for that. The last course they have in the kitchen labs for pastry is pastry presentation class, where they learn all different sugar techniques, from pulling, blowing, casting sugar, and they also learn chocolate tempering. So they get to make molded candies that are filled with different ganache or caramel fillings. They'll learn how to make slab ganache that they learn how to dip in tempered chocolate and do really fun cocoa butter designs on the top. And then they'll also learn how to make things like chocolate boxes and chocolate showpieces for furthering their career.
There is a lot that goes into the pastry making process that I was never even aware of. I've never heard of anyone describe a cake as structurally sound before. I did not realize it took that much. So you mentioned a few times about how COVID restrictions. So how is that working in the pastry arts program? Are students in class? Is it remote? Is it like a hybrid learning?
So ours is also hybrid, just the culinary field. We have different lab days where they do come into the kitchen. As far as when they're in the labs, they are meant to still socially distance, making sure everybody's properly in their masks, making sure that they're using their sanitation that they learned properly, keeping their stations nice and clean, and with the ready-to-eat food, constantly making sure that they are wearing their gloves and packaging them individually so that way they are COVID guideline necessary.
So when does the next pastry arts program start?
So both pastry and culinary, we have a new start on April 20th. You can apply online. You can go in, you can take a tour of our facilities. You can do all of your application online. You can talk with a guidance counselor or admissions counselor there online as well. They can schedule a Zoom meeting similar to this with you and walk you through that process. So April 20th is our next start for both culinary and pastry.
Very cool. And I know in the other ones we've done with some of your colleagues at YTI, it does sound like the school has adapted very well to everything that's going on. And you guys are making the process real easy for people who do want to continue their education or get into a new career field. So if you're looking to do that, if you love food, if you love pastries, and you want to learn everything about it, kind of like I did today, you can visit www.yti.edu for more information. You guys think we missed anything at all that you wanted to talk about?
I do want to just reiterate that I know that COVID is such a big concern for people, and sometimes that can keep us from moving forward in things that we may want to do. We've done everything that we can, and we continue to do everything that we can to make sure that our students are safe, our environments are safe. They have a process coming in. They sign in that they are not sick, they're not feeling well, they need to stay home. Everyone sanitizes and washes their hands when they get in. Everyone is socially distanced. Masks are required at all times. We do so much every single day to make sure that our students and faculty are safe in our environment. So, I would just encourage you, if you are interested, if it's something that you're looking for, to change careers or doing something new, I'd encourage you to just stop in, visit us on the website, and take a tour.